Hey guys, welcome back to Burnout's Hot Rod Shop. We've got an awesome tool haul. Today is only Saturday. It's Saturday afternoon when I'm filming this, and I'm going ahead and starting because I'm not sure if this is going to end up being one episode or two. Picked up quite a bit of stuff today, and then tomorrow I'm headed over to Columbus, New Jersey. Is it Columbus? Yeah, Columbus, New Jersey, to see George from You Want to Watch. He's going to be set up at his local flea market, and I'm going to go check out his booth, see what he's got, and walk around. I actually was at that one a couple of weeks back. It's only a couple hours from me, so tomorrow morning, Miss Liz and I are packing up. We're going to head over there. We're going to say hey to George. So I'm going to show you what I got on Saturday. We'll find out at the end if I bring the Sunday stuff into this or if I split Sunday off as its own episode. So stay tuned and find out. It's going to be a fun one. All right, guys. So the first thing I got was this green box. I picked it up at auction, and it's got full of tools. But this thing is kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know much about it. It has this logo on it. It probably goes the other way. We'll flip it around so we can read the tag. And then this CY23-TSM or /TSM-1 Kessler wood. So again, don't know much about it, but this box with tools in it was, I think, $7.50. I think it was just under $10 with the auction fees and stuff. So it had a tool that I wanted in it, but I'll pull those out. We'll go through those here in a second. I thought I'd show you this box. So let's get the stuff out of it. Okay, so let's start walking through the stuff that was in that green box. So we'll start off with this 4-way. Nothing special about it. Looks kind of beat up. See that end? It's pretty rough. So it would probably go into my cut it up, use it for other things pile. And we've got a group of hammers. So we've got this ball peen, no markings on it. This was kind of rusty, so was hoping maybe there was some lettering in there, but it's not, it's just dings. Handle might be able to be cut down and used for something else. It's loose. But all in all, the head itself is not in bad shape. It might be a fun one just to clean up and play with. We got this Mason's hammer. Again, loose handle. Nothing special about it. No marks I could see anywhere. But again, it could be cleaned up and a fun one to work with. We did get this one. Another Mason's hammer. This is a Stanley. Head's loose, but nothing major. And then finally, to finish up our hammers, there's this 4-pound sledge. At some point, I think someone put it on a handle upside down because the flat edge is here, and these are the tapered edges. But this it's a 4, so I'd say it's a 4-pounder. And then it's got this logo. It's a horseshoe with an A. So I'll have to look up and see whose maker mark that is. It looks like it may say something underneath it, but I'm not 100% sure. And as you can see, this handle has had multiple nails driven down in it and stuff. Someone did what they needed to tighten it up and continue doing the job. And that's what people do. This chisel, I don't see a name or maker's mark anywhere on it, but it needs a good cleaning. And that edge needs reprofiled. So this one, it's fairly straight. Might be a good one for me to practice on and learn how to better profile an edge. I got this screwdriver. The head's not too bad. Looks like it's been ground a little bit, reprofiled before. Don't see a name on the handle, but if it gets cleaned up, there may be something in there. Pulled this guy out of there. I did not realize that Craftsman made masonry chisels. It's not surprising, but I guess I hadn't seen one before. So definitely cool piece to add to a Craftsman box. And then the main two pieces that I saw was there was some sort of Stilson wrench. Couldn't see a branding or anything on it. But then as I got it home and cleaned it up, you can see right there it's a Dunlop, 24-inch, drop forged, made in USA. Now at this end, not sure what it says on the other side. 24-inch tool steel. So it feels like it's in pretty good shape. Definitely needs good cleaning. Helps if I turn it the right way. Spring is still in good shape. So all in all, this is not a bad Stilson style Dunlop. And then the piece that had me bidding on it was this crescent wrench. It's a Crescent tool company, Jamestown, New York. And it's a 15-inch made in USA. Now, a month or so back, probably in the viewing timeline for you guys, I had picked up some stuff at an auction, and I talked about they had lost one of my lots. And what that lot was a pipe wrench and a 15-inch Crescent Jamestown wrench. And I think I had paid $15 or $20 for that lot, and they couldn't find it. And I really wanted the 15-inch Crescent. I bought another group of Crescents from them that was, I think it was 4, 6, 8, and 12, 8, 10, and 12. So I was hoping to get the 15 as well. And then it was lost. So I got to make that up, get all the rest of these tools and that green box for under $10. I would say that's a pretty good day. And this thing is not, doesn't look like it's been used as a hammer. All in all, it's in pretty good shape. Even the jaws edges are nice. We've got one little blemish there. Probably one right there on the other side. A couple little pieces here, but nothing major. This thing is going to clean up beautiful. So again, that was my $7.50 plus fees, so under $10 green box. And those green boxes, I looked them up on eBay. They look like the sold items have been anywhere between $69.99 and $99.99. So that will probably end up in our, if we decide to do a flea market booth or anything else, I'll probably end up selling it that way, because that's not really my thing. But I know there are a lot of people that would probably like to have it. So with that, we'll move on to some of the stuff I picked up at flea markets. The last place we went on Saturday was the Blue Ridge Flea Market. At the Blue Ridge Flea Market, I picked up this group. I think it was two different vendors. Having to do the math in my head right now. The first two were these adjustables. The guy saw that I picked up this diamond. It looks like a 6-inch. Definitely crusty. But he saw that I picked up this adjustable, and I moved it back and forth a little bit. And then I was digging through, seeing what else he had in there. He didn't have much in his bin. He comes over and he says, "You want this one too?" It's a Utica. I was like, sure. So I tried it. It works. A little crusty, but it'll move. And those were $1 a piece. So for $2, I got those. And this, the guy wanted, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. So it was $5. He was a different guy, but he was $1 a piece. So first one I got was a super wrench, 25 32 and 11/16. Double open. Another super wrench. This one is a 9/16, which I think I'm missing in my set of this style of super wrench, if I remember correctly. Then he had this Williams number 3 engineer's wrench. The Craftsman Vanadium. This one looks like it'll clean up pretty well. We'll see. It's a CI. Again, Craftsman Vanadium, the underline C. The thing that drew me to his booth was this 13/16 plum. Looks like it's probably gonna clean up pretty well also. So got those for $1 each. Can't complain. That was at Blue Ridge. A lot of the vendors were closing down. They're open technically until 3, but we got there about 1, and the field was already about 50% empty, and the rest of the people were packing up for the most part. Next up, we'll look at the 3 big boys I picked up in Quakertown. So this was at the Quakertown Farmers Market, Quakertown, Pennsylvania. And I bought, the rest is going to be just a mixed bag. It's not going to be from specific vendors, but I bought from probably 3 to 4 different vendors. Things like this Craftsman, that was the only thing I bought from the guy. Some of this other stuff I bought in groups with different wrenches and stuff. But anyway, here are the 3 big boys. So this one is an 18-inch, and it's a PNC. Manufactured USA, 18-inch. So I think this is my largest made in USA adjustable now. I've got an Iriga, I think it is. They're made in Spain. That's either an 18 or a 20. I can't remember now. When I saw this one, I definitely thought of you, Jesse, being the PNC. But this one's for my collection for now, unless, I come across another 18 that's like a Proto or Williams or something. Then maybe you and I can talk about this one at that point. Next one, I bought this one in a lot. I don't remember what I ended up paying for it. Next is this 15-inch super adjustable, which is a J.H. Williams. And it's got the locking pin. And it turns, you lock the lock, and it doesn't turn unless it pops back. I think maybe it's missing another spring or something. I've got a smaller one and it holds. This one, you can actually shake it a little bit and it will kind of slide out. But this one I paid $5 for. It has had some grinding on the end and stuff, but I can clean all that up, get it on the 1x30 and just kind of reprofile that a little bit. The tip itself is good. It's just reprofiling these sides. And these, okay, I've never taken one of these apart before, but it looks like it's a hex on this end. So I'll have to look and see what it takes to get these guys apart. I don't know. And then finally, the last of the big boys is this 18-inch Craftsman pipe wrench. I've got 2 of the smaller size, 14 I think it is. I think the Craftsman will go from 14 to 18. I don't think they have a 16, but I'm not 100% sure. And guy had this on his table. It's the Circle Y. He initially said that he wanted $10 for it. And I paused for a second. And actually, I put my hand in my pocket to grab money. And he goes, I'll tell you what, I'll take $5. I think he thought I was going to walk away. So he took $5 for it. That's definitely a good one to have as well. So those are the big boys. We'll move on to some more of what I picked up at Quakertown. All right, next up, we'll look at some wrenches and a ratchet that I picked up. All these wrenches were in a 2 for $1 bin. So I paid 50 cents a piece. The 2 crescents, the Eastco, the Husky, the Kmart. Most of the wrenches you see going forward were in a 2 for $1 bin. There were some that were in a $1 bin that are mixed in. Actually, I think this crescent might have been in the $1 bin, but I didn't have a 4-inch, so it was only $1. But we'll start off with this Eastco. This is the fine tooth. If you're a Craftsman guy, you know the Craftsman version of this one well. And I got this one for $5. I didn't have the Eastco version. I've got a few of the Craftsman, but this will go real nice with my Eastco socket set. Here we've got this crescent that someone painted bright yellow. I didn't even check to see if it turned. It's 50 cents, so I picked it up. It turns. I looked and saw that it was a screw type and that I could take it apart if I needed to. Here we've got this 4-inch crescent. Now this one's a pinned in, and it's got a little bit of a sticky spot right there. But I will put a little 3-in-1 oil. Actually, we'll just do that right now. I always tell you guys I'm gonna do these things. I don't think you ever actually see me do most of them. So this is the way I like to do the 3-in-1 oil. And I run it all the way down. And I just give it a little bit more on this backside. There we go. There's something just making it want to stick right there. I don't know if it's a little bit of dirt or if it's a nick or rub. It feels like a little bit of dirt because it's getting better. My thumb's still kind of hurt. My finger and thumb on this hand still kind of hurt from getting that Craftsman free. If you saw that short, cool. If not, there is a short or reel or whatever it is YouTube calls them that I put out today. So if you see this on Tuesday, it will be this past Saturday. That the 6-inch Craftsman that I broke the little clamp vise on and everything else, I finally got it moving. I took it to the 1x30, got it all cleaned up, blued the center section, and it's a nice functional 6-inch adjustable now. And this one is back and forth with no issues. You can see the dirt, but a lot of that was from my fingers. So there, almost like a mini Fix It Up Friday, right? Wipe it off real quick. Sometimes that's all these guys take. And right back in service. Here's a pretty good looking Eastco 5/8. I don't remember what sizes I was missing, and I saw this, so I picked it up. Because these Eastcos are nice anyway. I needed to make it an even $1. I didn't want to spend 50 cents. So I threw this Husky in the bag. Again, if you know me, I grab Kmart stuff. This one's a 14. And then this Barkalow 7/16 and 3/8. It was in really nice shape. So we'll throw some more stuff on here. These are kind of the mismatches. Next, we'll get into some stuff that is some branding. So I've got some Proto, some SK, some Williams, and some Craftsman. Okay, so these are the SKs and Protos that I picked up. First up is this raised panel, just standard SK, 7/8 inch. It's the higher polished version of these raised panels. They're not nearly as, they still have this texturing and stuff. They're not nearly as shiny as the newer high polish, but that was the high polish of its day. And we've got this 13/16 SK Electrolyte. And then another higher polished SK Wayne 5/8. And then we got a double open 5/8 and 3/4 SK Electrolyte. I do collect all the different variants of SK. I've got a full set of combination electrolytes. If you saw last week's haul or a couple weeks ago's haul now, you saw where I picked that up. Actually, at the flea market I'll be going to visit George. My Waynes, some of them are not Waynes in that set, so I'm not sure if I have the 5/8 or not, but I grab it, and if not, I put it in, and if I do, I put it in another pile to trade off or whatever. So next we get into the Proto stuff. This is a 5/8 by 9/16 double box. This one looked like it was in pretty good shape until I flipped it over and saw this end. Someone reprofiled that for clearance, I'm sure. So that 9/16 end is pretty boogered up, but I don't think I have a double box 5/8 9/16, so it'll go in the set for now. Then we've got a Challenger 5/8 and 9/16, and this one's not all boogered up. And then a Challenger 11/16 combination wrench. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. And then finally, one of the cool finds for 50 cents. I've got the 7/16 and 3/8 double open plum. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. I hardly ever let plum sit on the table, and for 50 cents, you better believe I'm bringing it home with me. Let's see what we got next. Next, we'll take a look at all the Williams I picked up today. So the first thing was this double open. Can't read. Maybe it's a 7/8. It's hard to say because someone put an H here. So that might be a 13/16. No, because that's bigger. So 15/16 and 7/8. 1 inch and 7/8. Yeah, they put a 4 and an H, so I don't know if this was something that the 4H used or something. But these, I'm not sure the whole history behind these. Some of you Williams guys may know more than I do. I like Williams, I collect Williams. I'm just not well versed in their history. But this rib style, I only have a couple of these wrenches. To me, they're kind of Blue Point-esque. This was well before Williams and Snap-on, or before Williams was part of Snap-on. And we've got this older style super wrench. I want to say the super wrench on them. And this is a 5/8 11/16. Here we've got the newer style super wrench, 5/8 and 11/16. And the newer style again. And this one is a 5/8 9/16. And this one, really nice condition, 9/16 and half. These wrenches today have been driving me nuts. In my set of this style of Williams, I need a 1/2 inch combination and I need a 9/16 combination. I found no less than 4 or 5 of these in boxes. And they would be covered. So you'd see half, or you'd see 9/16 and an open end. And I'd fish them out, and every time it was a double open. So still no luck finding the one I need, but I did find this guy. Here's another of the older style super wrench. This is a 731, which is a 13/16 by 3/4. Another older super wrench. It is the 1027, which is a 1930 seconds by 11/16. Yeah. This is a non-super wrench. It's a Williams number 26, which is 11/16 by half. And I picked up, this is one of the old style original oval logo with the Diamond W engineer wrenches. And one of the guys on one of the Williams groups is looking for a number 1. Unfortunately, this is a number 2. The number 1 he's looking for has to be this logo to fit on the display he's got. It's the last piece he needs for his display. But it needs to be the oval with the diamond W. The newer logo wrench is a little bit different shape and won't fit. I was hoping I found it for him when I found this 701, because it was covered and I just saw it was 701. And I pulled it out real quick and I saw it was the new logo. It is the number 1. It's the one that says 701. They didn't even put the number 1 on it yet. So this is almost what he was looking for. It has the wrong logo on it. So I think the thickness of the head or something this one's more round or something. But it won't fit in the sales display he has. But now I've got a number 1 and a number 2. I didn't have either of those for my set, so I'll take it. And finally, in the Williams stuff, Rusto Rob, if you're watching, buddy, here is another 727 special. I'm sure that other one that you asked me about is a 727 special. If it is, and this is the second one I've got, this one's yours. I'm not sure what makes it special. What I was reading online says that usually one size is different than what would be mated. So the side with the Williams logo would be the side that normally would be the normal one on a 727, a 5/8. But then this 9/16 would usually be smaller, it'd be like a half or something. That was what I was reading online made a special. Now today I also picked up, and you can't really see the Williams logo. You can see the end of the M and the S right there. A 727 standard. But it's also a 5/8 and a 9/16. So what the difference is in a special, I'm not sure. But Rusto Rob, if you're watching and you know the difference between the special and not special, let me know. Again, I'm not nearly as well versed in Williams as I am in like Craftsman, but I always love to learn, guys. So speaking of Craftsman, I think that's what we've got up next. So let's take a peek at some of the Craftsman I picked up. Start off up here at the top. I have this 14 millimeter 12 point. It's a V. A lot of you guys are like, yeah, that's pretty standard. I'm surprised you got that because you've got a ton of standard wrenches, Burnout. I collect this panel. This is from the 1970s, and it doesn't have the lines. So if we look, if we flip this guy over, we can see the 2 lines. This one doesn't have the 2 lines. As far as SAE, I have almost a complete set. I think it's 1 and 5/16. Let's see. 1 and 5/16, 5/16, and 1/4. And then I'll have a full set. When it comes to the metrics, I only have a couple. So anytime I see a metric with that smooth panel, I pick it up. Now we've got this. It's a Craftsman. You can see it's the pointy A, and it's the S with the extra step in it. We've got the O or the 0 right there. And then it's 5/8, 3/4 forged in USA. So it's a little bit older one. Then we've got this one that's the Flying V style, but it's the 3/4 7/8. And notice there's no V here. It's just the double line. And this one, there was no V cast into it either. So I grab a lot of the Flying V stuff I see if it's in good shape. If it doesn't have the V, I grab pretty much all of it. Those were only 1946 to 1948, if I remember correctly. Next, we've got the 3/4 and 7/8, the wider body. But this one is the Flying V. And then we've got a 15/16 and 1 inch Flying V. Double box again. A lot of double box Craftsman today. There was a lot of other stuff too, but it was the stuff I have a lot of. And we've got this 25, 30 seconds and 3/4 double box, underline C, forged in USA. As we can see, it's made very much like this one. Other than that C, it's not underlined. But guys, that's not all the Craftsman. I've got one more load of Craftsman. I'll bring it over and we can wrap up the stuff that I picked up on Saturday. So this is the end of what I picked up on Saturday. And this is my favorite piece, at least from Saturday. This is the Cross Force large size Craftsman set. So if you don't know what the Cross Force is, they made these, gosh, late 90s, early 2000s. I'm not 100% sure anymore. But they were a 90-degree twist. So we can see here that the open end is flat to us, but the box end is 90 degrees the other way. And you can see the owner did put owner marks in it. And they are Craftsman USA. This set, as far as quote-unquote standard production Craftsman stuff, it's one of the harder sets to find. There's a handful of them on eBay right now. New in package, they're $400. Open package, they're $350 to $375. I picked these up. The guy knew that he had something special. I didn't go pick these up for $1 a piece. They weren't. Unfortunately, these were not in the 2 for $1 bin. If they were, I'd have, yeah. If you had more sets, I'd have bought them all. But I think at the end of it, I bought a few things from the guy. But I think whenever it all amortized out, these were about $80 for the 5 of them. So, by all means, not cheap. But I've never seen these in person. I don't remember ever even seeing them in the stores back in the day. I saw the smaller ones. I saw the ratcheting ones. But I did not see, I think all the smaller ones are ratcheting, but I'm not 100% sure. The big ones are not ratcheting. But yeah, this was cool to walk up on these and see that you had the big ones. So, like I say, these are probably my favorite piece. This was, I picked them up with my birthday money that I was given for my birthday gift. I had spent part of it while we were out at the flea market that weekend, and then I spent pretty much the rest of it on these. So these are definitely cool. Let me know what you guys think. Actually, I didn't look and see if it's the same owner mark on it, if they all had the owner mark. And they do. So these were a set probably from new. It wasn't anything that was piecemealed together or anything else. These are going to go over in my industrial box. And they're definitely going to be a cool piece to have in there. So I'm cutting this one in for you guys. This is that 15-inch super adjustable that was so crusty. I decided to throw it on the new cart. Right after I finished filming. And get it cleaned up. That's a Tool Guy Saturday night. Hey guys, it is the next day after filming. I just got back from seeing George over at the Columbus Flea Market in Columbus, New Jersey. That was awesome. It was great getting to see him in person. And not just the messages back and forth that we've had and stuff. I did end up getting a lot of stuff, so we're gonna make that a second episode. You can see I got different shirt on, all that stuff. But no, yeah, this one I think when I put all the video together is like 34 minutes or something. That's plenty. I'll cut the next of it into another episode. So I'm gonna film that. I'm gonna get off here with you guys. I'm gonna film that real quick. And then you guys are gonna have to wait another week, but then you'll get to see what I got whenever I got to go hang out with George. So remember, I'm burnt out, I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it.